guys, welcome back to another book review. Today we're going to talk about Watch Her Bend, and then I'm going to kind of talk about the little novella that she released after this that's called Watch Her Bloom. It's a very short little novella, but I want to talk about this one first. So I'm going to, before you even go anyone, this is going to be a dark romance. It is written by Emily Klepp, and it is her typical very dark, very dark romance. So what I'm going to tell you just to start it off is a girl has a guy who's been stalking her for a long time, kind of ruining her life, kind of controlling her life, and she falls in love with somebody who's going to be like, I don't fucking think so, I'm done. This ain't going to happen anymore. And what goes from there, and obviously the stalker's going to be upset. So what happens from there is just going to what's happened from there. Like I said, you want to know more, you got to read the book. I'm always going to give you a little bit to kind of pull you in, but I'm not going to give you the little juicy details and how it's going to end. You're just going to have to read it to find out. So let's talk about this one. This one, again, Emily Klepp. Her books are very spicy. So be aware that going in, they are going to be very spicy. And this one, again, is going to have the essay. It's going to have, this one is going to be pretty deep. I'm just going to tell you right now, I want you to make sure you check your trigger warnings. I'm going to mostly say that with all of Emily Klepp's books. Check your trigger warnings before you dive into her books. She writes very dark romances. And because of that, her books can be not for everybody. Like, they're dark romance, but they're not for everybody. So take that into consideration, because she does write pretty taboo, darker romances. I love them. I enjoy them. I think they're good. Not everybody's going to feel that way. That's why I say do your research before you jump in. You know, if this sounds interesting, dig a little deeper. Make sure those trigger warnings are going to be okay for you before you go on any farther. So where I'm going to go from there, sorry, my dogs are barking in the background. I don't even know what they hear. But anyways, so let's go from there. This one is going to have kind of a lot of the angst and the fighting the feelings for each other. But like I said, the girl has a lot of trauma in this one. I'm just going to straight up tell you what. The girl has a lot of trauma, and the guy obviously is going to try to help her work through her trauma, but she's got a lot of trauma. This girl has a crazy amount of trauma, and he's going to help her work through it and whatnot. But that's what I'm going to say. This one is going to be dark. It's got a lot of essay in it. It's got, it's really deep and it's really dark. And that's what I'm going to tell you on this one. This one is kind of a little bit on the more emotional side because of the stuff that the female main character has gone through. So I'm just going to tell you that right now. Now, the prequel after this, or the little sequel, or the little novella, whatever you want to call it, has to do with the female main character's sister, who is also in this book. It does have a little bit of mentioning of essay because of the situations. They're sisters and they were put in kind of same situations, and you'll get to know that when you read Watch Her Bend. But in Watch Her Bloom, she finds her own love. That's just the best way to put it. She finds her own love. It's a short, for the most part, has an actually really good feel to it. Has a little bit of darkness to it, but for the most part, it has a nice feel to it, other than the little bit for a dark romance. It's got a good feel to it. It's what I classify as a truly feel-good romance. No, but it's got a nice feel-good to it for a dark romance. It's got that nice. And especially if you read this one, and if you read them in succession to each other, it might be a nice little break after reading this one, because this one is so dark and so emotional. So if those sound interesting to you, then go ahead and check them out, because they are good. I'm a big Emily Klepp fan. You're going to find that out. But her books, like I said, they're super dark. She writes a lot with essay. And so I just want you to be prepared before you go in. If that sounds like that's something you're into, check it out.